You're listening to Daggers and Dandelions, a podcast about authentic communication in relationships, with your hosts, Aman and Sabrina Berry. Welcome. Okay.
We should let it.
That's nice.
Get that.
But then we're going.
Are we going?
Yeah, we're going. We're going to keep it rolling.
Fuck.
We're on now. Greetings, listeners. Welcome to the first episode of Daggers and Dandelions. I'm your co-host, Sabrina, and I'm joined by my husband,
Aman Berry.
Yay. Thanks for joining us. We're really excited to kick this off. We literally had this idea, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, like in the car.
In the car
ride.
We were having a drive, and we are just like, we should do this. We have something we want to share with the world.
We got wisdom, y'all.
So we've been together nine years.
Over 9 years.
Over 9 years. And pretty much dating maybe like 7, like this. Like,
yeah, I can make the argument that we haven't really stopped dating. We've made dating a practice in our relationship.
Well, true, and that's what we're gonna uncover during this whole series here. We want to just provide insights as to how we just keep doing what we're doing. We still love each other. We choose to love each other daily with our faults and strengths.
So who are you and why do you think this is relevant?
Yeah, let's share a little bit about who we are as individuals, and then we'll dive all into who we are as a couple. Okay,
you go first?
Me first. Okay, so let's see. Well, those that know me, if you're listening, you'll know that been a musician pretty much all my life. Music's been my first language. I've always liked to say I play several instruments. I love creating my own music, but just love creating in general. Thank you. But yeah, that the creation extends to other projects of media, video, podcast, audio. It's everything there. And other than that, I love watching movies. My biggest dream is to make music for movies. So this is all stepping stones to get to that point for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to join my husband and do this a project together where we want to create something for good.
Sure. Like,
who are you?
Who am I? Good question. I ask myself that every day in the mirror. When I wake up, I'm like, who am I today? I have no fucking clue. But I'm your husband.
Well,
right?
Yes. But you're not their husband.
True. I'm a guy that literally, got to go way out of his league. So, maybe.
That's sweet.
And I'm also a guy that never expected myself to get married or have anyone want to put up with my bullshit, constantly. It still blows my mind to this day. I'm not here to list my professional, accolades or shill my services. This is about, a relationship. So, I'm a guy, regular guy, at least as close to regular as I can be most of the time. And I'm trying to create a good life with the woman I love. And that's what's relevant about this. So I think I'd like to stop there.
Well, yeah, for sure. And that comes back to one of the main reoccurring theme for us, and just something that we want to get across, I think, is it all just is as simple as loving the person, loving your partner, your platonic friend, your family member, whatever, just as long as there is that genuine love and mutual respect and
being on the same team.
Yeah, being on the same team, wanting the same things, that's what it takes, and pretty much we've been able to get through quite a lot of stuff
stuff that other couples wouldn't be able to get through.
Yeah, no, I don't. It's there's been
times.
ups and there's been downs.
But we're always on the same team. And we're facing the ups and downs together, and we don't ever I'm not perfect at this, but we make efforts not to fight each other. Like if there's a problem, it's us facing the problem together, even if it's a problem between us. So we're gonna go more into that in later episodes. But I kind of wanted to the screen just like died, and I had a panic attack, an absolute panic attack just now, people. So
Okay.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the love tank so what we're going to talk about now comes from the work of it's called Love Languages, and it's from the book The 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman, and honestly, like, fellas out there, read that book. Like,
even ladies too.
Yeah, read that book, because it talks about how when we're younger, we develop different languages through which we receive love, and it's different for each person. So, for instance, there are 5 primary love languages: physical touch, acts of service, quality time, gifts, and words of affirmation, right? Mm-hmm. And the important thing in relationships, and this has been proven true through the duration of our relationship, is we have to know what our partner's love language is and speak it even if it isn't ours. So, for instance, I know Sabrina loves words of affirmation. That's not mine. So I go out of my way to like give her encouragement. Like, I saw something awesome you did today. I want to give you props about that. Or like, I think it's so inspiring how you help all these elderly people at your work with your hearing aids. And I'm inspired by that. So building her up through words of affirmation is how I can speak her love language.
And I know how to meet your love language. One of yours, well, both of one of ours is quality time. Mm-hmm. Just spending intentional time together where we're bonding over a mutually shared hobby, or a lot of times we're watching something on TV. We're big Marvel fans and just sci-fi in general. There's always something we're keeping up on the TV, and taking nature walks and hikes. That's a big one for you too. So
love that. Drives.
Yep. Drives, listening to music, and so
that keeps our love tank full. And in the book they talk about how, like a gas tank, we have a metaphorical love tank, and if you learn to pay attention to your metaphorical love tank, you can tell when it becomes like emptier or fuller, and then you can ask your partner to deliberately fill your love tank by showing you acts of love in your love language. Mm-hmm. And through that way you can rekindle and refresh that initial spark so things don't go dull. At least that's what we found in our relationship, right? I mean, would you like to speak to that a little bit?
Well, yeah, and it's not just like we said, we got married just last October, so we've only been married not even a full year yet, but we've been together a significant amount of time. We've grown together, and you have to keep refresh yourselves, retake the love languages test. Like, sometimes Aman will come to me and say, hey, I think maybe my love languages have changed. Can we retake the test? And I'm okay. And every time, yeah, let's do that. And sometimes our like top needs, like love languages, will change. Sometimes mine is quality time, other times it's acts of service. It just kind of depends on my chapter in my life, what I kind of need. When Aman does like things like grocery shopping, running errands,
happy to do them.
That saves my life. I fucking hate having another thing to do.
I'm so happy to do it.
And he does it for me, and it's amazing. Yeah. So that's a huge love language for me. He's doing that so I don't have to, because it means more to me that I don't have to do it, and he's happily able to do it. So that's huge.
And that's the thing. Like, I'm legit happy to do it because I know it's like it's an investment in my relationship. There's some work. There's a really good program on Audible called Making Marriageable Work by Dr. John Gottman. And he did he's a research scientist and looked into all the things that make marriage work. And one of the big things is you want to have an 8-to-1 positive ratio. So, you want to have 8 positive things in your day-to-day relationship to 1 negative thing. And it's been proven that people 5-to-1. Yeah. 5-to-1 for positive. Yeah. And for a divorce, it is 8-to-1 negative ratio.
To 1 positive.
Right. So that's a good indicator of divorce. So you want to have 5 positives to 1 negative. And the inverse of that is if in either your personal, in your romantic relationship or in your interpersonal relationships, this applies. If there's a big negative, you have to have 5 positives to counter that negative, right? So these are just little things that we can turn to. Another thing that Dr. John Gottman really went into was the importance of love maps. And what that is having an updated image of your partner's internal world. So realizing that, she's a new person every day. Like, she grows, she changes. Maybe her vision changes. Maybe her needs, desires, wants, and future changes. how are and you could ask like, how are you feeling about this aspect of our relationship today? You know, open-ended questions really allow to build those love maps. And we're gonna have a further discussion later on repair conversations. But I think, you know, the holding space, and the last thing I'll mention before I turn it back over to Sabrina is all of this combined allows us to have a positive mental bias towards our partner. So, and that allows us to give them grace. So if like, so for whatever reason, Sabrina's a bit short with me, I'm not like, she's a horrible person and I hate her and she hates me. It's like, oh, she probably had a long day at work, you know, and you have that positive mental bias, which overrides a lot of the negative stuff. And that's the exact opposite of what some of these negative relationships have, according to Dr. John Gottman's work, where they have a negative mental bias and everything that goes towards them is indicative of like an inherent personal flaw, right? And that's the opposite of what you want to do. Like we want to have a positive mental bias towards each other as we speak our love languages, hold space, have repair conversations as necessary, and just realize that, you know, like a partnership is really that. It's based on friendship, you know. You wouldn't treat your friend like shit. You know, you wouldn't want to be friends with someone that treats you like shit. Right?
Yeah.
So speak to that.
Well, yeah. So it just meeting and sharing each other's love languages is huge. And another thing for me, and I think another thing, we're really compatible just kind of off the bat anyway, meaning we're both leaning towards introvert, and we just love having our own little spaces to go, you know, corner away and do whatever restores us or whatever we want to work on. So Aman has his office and I have my living room space, and you know, he just honors that, you know, when I want my time and I don't really want to hang out with him, I just need me time.
Just let me know.
It's cool. We do that. We honor that for each other, and it doesn't trigger insecurity like it could in, say, less secure relationships.
Well, speaking of less secure relationships, you mentioned that you wanted to like highlight the differences without naming names. One of your previous 4-year relationships and contrast that. So maybe.
Well, yeah, just, you know, I also wasn't as developed internally like a decade ago to even know that I needed that boundary of, hey, I need my space. Please, just, you know, I need my me time. I didn't have the inner knowing to advocate for that. So in our relationship with you, Aman, you honor that and you support that and you understand it. You don't question it. And it's not a, you know, I don't want to spend time with you because I don't like you. It's just I need to recharge my batteries by myself. That's just the way it is.
I'm literally the same. Like, why do you think I go out in nature on my own at night sometimes? Like, it's the same thing.
So we understand each other, and you know, we're very secure in this relationship because of how much we can trust each other and how much there's that love under it all. We just love each other. We just want each other to prosper.
And that love is not something that is like, you have to cultivate it, right? It's not static.
No,
you have to actively go out of your way to determine and speak the love language that your partner know, that they need. At least that's, you know, I don't like to seem all condescending and be like, you should do this, because that's not how I'm trying to approach this, but I don't really know how to speak about it.
Well, no, we're just sharing what works for us.
Yeah, but like what works for us.
We take the test.
Yeah, we
whenever
take the test.
We think we need to refresh it.
Sometimes 3-4 times a year.
Yeah,
you know,
with the seasons.
Like, yeah, and that might be a good practice, because we're all changing people. We all update ourselves. We all flux with the seasons. You know, we don't want to get too esoteric in this podcast, but there's a lot to be. There's a lot we could, you know. Maybe not on this one though.
Maybe later.
Yeah. But I think at least for me, I've kind of said what I wanted to get across for this one.
Yeah, this has been a great first run. I think we've kept it 100.
All right.
Well, so what to look forward to in this series here, the authentic communication in relationships. Our next couple episodes, we're going to talk on how to get through tough stuff together, and also I have a sneeze approaching.
Nice. Nice one. Bless you.
We'll leave that in there.
Tackling stuff together, honoring the inner child. Teamwork makes the dream work, and collaborative problem solving.
Yes. So these are just the beginnings. We're just getting rooted.
We might even get weird.
We're gonna get we'll promise you that. So
you'll know what that means later, maybe. Okay.
Hang in there with us. Join us. You know, have some fun with us. We're literally having a cocktail and a joint.
We're just like this is fun. Like, let's have these discussions, and and honestly, if you have any questions or you want to like contact us, or you have something you want us to address, or maybe a specific relationship thing, shoot an email to sifuamunberry@gmail.com, and we can address that on this podcast.
Yes. Well, thanks again for joining us for this first one, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Take care.
Thank you for listening to Daggers and Dandelions. Brought to you by Night of Wands Productions. So, let's see. I forgot where I was going here. We'll cut this out, obviously.
We were on a flow.
I know, you fucked it up.